today's video, I'm going to be exploring something interesting, something that I've been using and exploring for the last 10 months or so. Basically, it's called Pandora Star. What is Pandora Star, I hear you asking? Well, it's a powerful, flexible, and easy-to-use deep trance light machine. Now that sounds interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, deep trance. Well, that's not the only name that's given to this particular machine. It's also known as a deep meditation machine or a light entrainment device. It's a powerful light entrainment device, and it uses flickering light to guide the brain to experience a range of beneficial states of brainwave activity, which can be used for numerous empowering purposes. So how does it work? Well, it uses a unique inverted triangle array of LED lights that interlock to create a series of hexagrams. The Pandora Star then stimulates various regions of the brain by focusing rays of light on the retina. Through closed eyes, the user can experience a visible frequency of entrainment, of kaleidoscopic patterns, of colors, of psychedelic imagery, which provides an immersive environment for deep-level brainwave entrainment. So when you're under it, you may experience geometric imagery, kaleidoscopic imagery, or even time tunnels. The Pandora Star is in essence flashing and flickering light at the eyes. Obviously, your eyes are closed, but even with your eyes closed, the light is so powerful you're still experiencing these varying, beautiful geometric frequencies and shapes. So how does it work? So through sequencing and control of flickering light, the Pandora Star makes it possible to access any frequency state from 0.1 Hz to 200 Hz. So why is this interesting? Well, in essence, the flickering light is helping to shift your brain waves to start to coincide with the flickering, or at least the frequency of the light that's being flashed on the retina. So your brain slowly shifts into that brainwave state. So how does this help you if your brain is in that brainwave state? Well, science has proven that certain states of conscious awareness are associated with particular brainwave states. So, for example, the brainwave state of epsilon is associated with very deep meditation, astral projection, out-of-body exploration, and lucid dreaming. The brainwave state of theta, associated with inner peace, REM-like sleep, deep meditation, addiction, and healing. The brainwave state of beta, associated with concentration, arousal, alertness, motivation, and problem solving. The brainwave state of lambda, the highest brainwave state that they've discovered thus far, associated with high awareness, mental states, and advanced states of meditation. What it in essence means is that the machine is helping to entrain the brain. So your brain starts to create neural pathways, connections, if you will, between all the brain cells to ensure that next time you want to achieve a similar state of consciousness, it'll be easier because the pathway is already there. I can give you two visual examples to help you better understand this. Imagine a pathway through a forest, untouched, no one has ever walked it. It would be very difficult for you to get from one end of the forest to the other end because there is no pathway. But should you spend some time cutting or hacking a pathway through, clearing the pathway, with time and with the time that you spent making this trail, it'll be easier for you to get from one end of that path, or at least one end of the forest, to the other end of the forest because you created the pathway. Another visual example may be when you exercise, you train your muscle. And the more you train that muscle, the more conditioned it becomes to performing that particular activity or that particular movement. So when you lift a weight that you started with, say it's 10 kilograms, but you've been exercising that particular muscle for a number of 2 months, 10 kilograms will be a lot easier and it'll be very easy for you to lift that weight. In essence, the light entrainment device, the brainwave entrainment device works in a similar way. It shifts your brain into that brainwave state, and in being in that state, your brain starts to create the neural pathways to ensure that next time, it's a little bit easier for you to get into that brainwave state a lot faster. Why is this beneficial? Well, if someone has been actively participating in trying to achieve deep meditative states for 10, 20 years. It can take them a long time to get there. With this machine, it can get your brain into that brainwave state a lot faster. Train your brain, in essence, to achieve that brainwave state at will, so that next time you want to get into that deep state of meditative bliss, you can a lot faster. That's the idea behind brainwave entrainment, and that's the idea behind this machine. Now you get audio brainwave entrainment and you get light wave brainwave entrainment. I've used both, and personally, I can definitely attest to the fact that from my personal experience, I find the light brainwave entrainment to be a great deal more powerful and a great deal more effective. Alright, so there is some belief out there that, and perhaps even some research, I'm not entirely sure of this, but there's some belief out there and some theories that suggest that through the access of light in the retina, it helps to stimulate your pineal gland, which is associated with being your third eye. And it's also recognized that this particular gland within the brain is associated with the release of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a chemical responsible for, well, altered states of consciousness, transcendental states, higher states of awareness. People who have taken DMT have experienced, or at least claims to experience, these amazing spiritual-like experiences. If you want to know more about that subject, then definitely look up the documentary DMT, The Spirit Molecule, where they touch on this particular concept in a great deal more detail. It's definitely an eye-opening documentary. Now, as mentioned, many believe that through the stimulation of the pineal gland as a result of exposure to light in the retina, one can experience these type of experiences. And having used the machine myself, I can kind of attest to that. Now, what I found interesting, through a certain amount of research, I discovered that there was some sort of correlation between the pineal gland and some ancient Egyptian mythology. So there is a hieroglyph, or at least there was a well-known god called the god of Horus, otherwise known as the god of the light. And there is a hieroglyph or a symbol associated with this particular god. Now, when you do your research, you will discover that a cross-section of a brain, if you take a cross-section of a brain and you look at where the pineal gland lies, and you look at the symbol for the eye of Horus, there is a correlation. You could almost take both and overlay them over one another and they'll look identical. So many people believe, and I'm a practitioner, or at least I believe this particular point as well, is that the ancient Egyptians were perhaps trying to tell us something. That in order for us to ascend, like co-creators, to find a way to transcend to higher self, to become these higher beings of creation, we need to access the pineal gland. Now, this symbol, which looked very similar to the pituitary gland, or the third eye in the brain, was known as the god of light, or at least it represented the god of light. So in essence, I believe that they were saying that with light, stimulating the pituitary gland, we can start to connect to higher self, start to connect with God, if you will. So these images, which you have been seeing and are looking at now, will give you a good indication of what I'm trying to describe. I don't think anyone can deny the fact that the ancient Egyptians were clearly an extremely advanced race, a clearly extremely advanced civilization, who had figured something out, or at least had obtained guidance from somewhere in order to build, in order to create the phenomenal structures such as the pyramids of Giza that they did. We have very few ideas, only theories associated with how they did that. I do believe that they're a great deal more advanced than we could possibly know. And some of these messages come through in our interpretations of things like these symbols and these hieroglyphs. If you are an explorer, if you want to explore yourself, if you want to explore your reality and gain a better understanding of what reality may actually be, and understand that it may not be just this, if these are the kind of things that interest you, if you want to explore your understanding of who you are and who you could potentially be, then the Pandora Star might be a tool for you. I certainly find that it's benefiting me in my consistent daily practice, and I feel like I've definitely grown in my practice, and I'm going deeper and deeper in my practice, more so since having used the machine. So I do think it has a place. So that's basically the introduction to the Pandora Star. For those of you who have been to my workshops and to my classes and who've been fortunate enough to try it out, I know there isn't a single one of you who haven't had some sort of really enjoyable and ecstatic experience. There's always something to experience and something unique to see when under the light. There's definitely something special about it. If you are interested in using or at least attending a session with this type of device, well, look in the description of the video below and you'll find a link to the official website for Pandora Star. If you wish to purchase the device and you are living in the areas with where I am currently residing, please contact me. Alternatively, contact Pandora Star through their website and purchase one for yourself. Alternatively, you can find individuals who have these devices in an area near you, and you can go attend a session with them to see if this is maybe something that could benefit you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe where you can explore more interesting concepts and ideas such as this, more machines, more reviews on machines such as this that can help you to continue your journey of discovery and self-development and self-exploration. Thanks again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy some of our future videos too. Cheers. Bye-bye.